If you're looking to join your only close family members in Australia, you've come to the right place. We're about to walk through the entire Subclass 115 visa process together. Think of this as your clear, step-by-step roadmap for what is, let's be honest, a really life-changing journey. So let's get right into it. So first up, what exactly is this visa? The Subclass 115, or the remaining relative visa, is a permanent visa. But here's the key thing. It's specifically for people's only close relatives. We're talking parents, siblings, kids, are all living in Australia. It's a specific and, for some families, an absolutely vital pathway to finally be all together in one place. We're going to break this whole thing down into 6 manageable steps. We'll start with what you need to do before you even think about applying. Then we'll get into the big one, gathering your documents. After that, lodging the application, what happens while you wait, and of course, the final decision. By the end of this, you'll know exactly what to expect.
All right, let's dive into step 1, before you apply. You can think of this as laying the foundation for your house. If you get this groundwork right, everything that comes after is going to be so much smoother. Trust me, it'll save you a ton of headaches down the line.
A couple of quick but really important checks to start with. First, your passport. Now, you don't technically need it to lodge the application, but you absolutely will need a valid one for the visa to actually be granted. So do yourself a favor and check that expiry date now. Also, think about if you want some help. You could hire a professional migration agent, or you could just nominate a trusted friend or family member to receive letters for you. And here we go. Step 2. This is the big one, folks, gathering all your documents. Honestly, this is the most detailed part of the whole process. I really can't say this enough. Getting your paperwork 100% correct is the single most important key to a successful application. And before we get into the list of documents, I need you to see this warning. The Department of Home Affairs does not play around when it comes to accuracy. Any incorrect info, even if it feels like a small, honest mistake, can get your application refused. And worse, it could lead to a 10-year visa ban for you and your family. So the lesson here is simple. Be careful, be honest, and check, and recheck everything. Okay, with that in mind, let's start with your personal documents. You're going to need clear copies of your current passport pages, the ones with your photo and personal info. If your country has a national ID card, you'll need a copy of that too. And this is a big one. If your name has ever changed, for any reason, you must include the official proof, like a marriage certificate or a legal name change document.
All right, now for your sponsor, your relative in Australia. They have some homework to do too. They need to fill out Form 40. You'll also need documents that officially prove how you're related, like birth certificates. And finally, your sponsor has to prove their status, that they're an Australian citizen, a permanent resident, or an eligible New Zealander living in Australia.
Now, here's a really important question that changes things a bit. Are you planning on bringing your partner or your children with you on this application? Because if the answer is yes, then each of them is going to need their own set of documents. And you can see the differences here. For kids under 18, you'll need the standard identity docs and proof of your relationship. But critically, you also need consent from any parent who isn't coming with you. For adult dependents, say over 18, it's a whole different ballgame. The requirements are way stricter. You have to prove, with financial records, that they've been dependent on you for at least a year. And for your partner, you'll need their identity and character documents. Now, if you're married, it's pretty straightforward. The marriage certificate is your key piece of proof. But if you're in a de facto relationship, you have to prove it's legit and has been going for at least 12 months. They're looking for hard evidence, things like joint bank accounts, utility bills with both your names on them, or a shared lease. Okay, so you've gathered this mountain of paperwork. You're almost there. Just 3 final prep steps. 1. If any documents aren't in English, get them translated by an accredited professional. 2. Get certified copies of everything. The one big exception here is police certificates. They need to be the originals. And 3, and please don't skip this, make a complete copy of your entire application for your own files before you send it anywhere. Which brings us to step 3, lodging your application. All that hard prep work is done. This is the big moment where you formally submit everything and get the ball rolling. And before you do anything else, you need to know this rule. It is an absolute non-negotiable deal breaker. You have to be physically outside of Australia when you submit the application, and you must also be outside Australia when they make the final decision. There is zero wiggle room on this. Now, believe it or not, this is a paper-based application, kind of old school these days. So you'll fill out Form 470F, your sponsor handles Form 40, then you'll need to go online to your IMI account to pay the first visa fee. And this part is crucial. You have to print out that payment receipt and put it in the package with your paper forms. Finally, you mail the whole thing to the processing center in Perth.
Okay, you've sent it off, so what now? Welcome to step 4, after you apply. Now, this phase isn't just about waiting by the phone. It's about actively managing your application. And it's important to note, these visas can take a very long time to process because of high demand and government limits. So being prepared for the wait is really key.
Once you get a letter back saying they've received your application, you can link that paper application to your online Amy account. And this is a game changer. It lets you upload any extra documents they ask for, you can easily update your address or phone number, and you can check on the status of your application. It really puts you back in the driver's seat. Okay, let's talk about something that I know causes a lot of stress. What happens if, after you've mailed everything, that sinking feeling hits, and you realize you made a mistake on a form? First thing, don't panic. There's a fix for this. All you need to do is fill out a specific form. It's called Form 1023, which is basically a notification of incorrect answers. You just fill it out, upload it to your IME account as soon as you can, and you're all set. It's a pretty straightforward fix. And here is a piece of advice that comes directly from the department. So please listen closely. I'm just going to read it. Do not arrange to travel to Australia until we let you know in writing that we have granted you the visa. Seriously, booking flights or quitting your job before you have that official grant notice is a huge financial risk. Just wait. Now, during this waiting period, a few other things might pop up. They might ask you to do a health exam or provide biometrics, which is just fingerprints and a photo. You'll also get an invoice for the second part of the visa fee. They might also ask for an assurance of support, which is basically a promise from your sponsor that they'll support you financially. And finally, you have to tell them if anything big changes in your life. If you move, get married, or have a baby, let them know right away. And that takes us to the finish line. Step 5, the final decision. After all that preparation, all that paperwork, and all that waiting, this is the moment you find out the outcome. So as you can see, there are 2 ways this can go. Either way, you'll get the news in writing. If the visa is granted, fantastic. You'll get your visa grant number, your start date, and any conditions attached. If it's refused, they'll tell you exactly why, and they'll let you know if you have the option to ask for a review. No matter what happens, make sure you keep a copy of that decision letter. So there you have it. That's the complete roadmap for the Subclass 115 visa, from the very first thought all the way to the final decision. It's a detailed process, for sure, but it is absolutely doable if you just take it one step at a time. So the only question left is your paperwork ready for the journey?